Welcome now to the Worth to Be Seen kind of new podcast thing. We're going to be getting more into the mission-based content. And the mission, I've been thinking about this a lot. And I think in order to have a channel that will be consistently working and in a way that it doesn't require too much of an artificial energy put into it, it needs to be something that kind of comes natural. And by natural could be pretty much anything, different for different people, of course. So for one, it could be sport events or music or whatever it is. Me, I think I have this kind of quest, or I have this kind of mission inside me that I want things to slow down a bit. And I have done it in a way. I have experienced things in my life which has given me the opportunity to slow down, and slowing down in a way that has had such an impact on my life and that has made me feel like there's more meaning now than there has been ever before. And I'm moving at a slower pace than I've done ever before. And yet I'm experiencing more. So it's kind of from moving in a quite fast manner in my previous life. I have slowed down and moving at a much slower pace and still experiencing more of life. And my mission, I think, is to try and share that experience with as many people as possible, just to make as many as possible aware that there are alternative ways. And we're taught into doing certain things in a certain way, but very rarely we really know why. We just do it because we've heard it over and over again. We've heard people say it. We've heard people announce it, and we just go for, so that is the normal way of doing things. In my things that I could question is like in my area here, we're constantly talking about how the city needs to grow and how we need to add to the population. We need people to move into the city. And that is pretty much what everybody's always talking about, that is really important. And then once you think about it, then why is it important? And when will it ever end? Is it going to be just an ongoing forever competition of growth? And what will that lead to? What is the point if we're aiming for 50,000 in the population? Once that is set in its mark, then we'll have to go for 60,000, 100,000, and it will just never end. And what is the point then if we're never going to be satisfied about where we are? Just constantly chasing to get better and better and bigger and more. Really no point to it. Not at least the way that I see it, and not at least to the experiences that I've had. Coming to the experiences, I feel that I've spent a lot of time mostly in Africa. When I've not been around here, I've stayed in Africa, and I've been to places that are very remote sometimes. And it seems like the more remote and the more far away from the kind of commercialism that we're used to having as a normal part of our life, the more content people seems to be. And it's kind of puzzling at first when you see the lack of so many things that one is used to having, and yet there is something within the people in those areas that is just envious to see. There's something about the life quality that goes beyond these standards that we have created for ourselves. And if I can, I would want to use this channel to have that as a mission, to make that apparent for as many people as possible. And also how we could even out some of the inequalities that I have seen in life. Because even though, as I say, there is something within people in some of these remote areas that has like a life quality feature in their lives, there are still some inequalities that I believe that everyone should at least have a fair chance of health care, for example, and people shouldn't be starving. We shouldn't be dying of hunger by the thousands every day. That is just not, it's just not making sense that could happen in a world where we can consume to these immense amounts every day, yet there are thousands of people dying from lack of food. So that would be part of my mission as well, to try to find this balance between what we believe we need, which in my opinion we don't, and what actually is a need to just survive in the basic things. And in that process, maybe letting go of some of these things that we're taught to want and taught to think that we need. Once we're letting go of those, life kind of opens up a bit for more options. The less things you feel that you need, the less things you need to do that you don't want to do. Work, for example, could be one. If you want to have new things and you want to have the best of things and you want to experience things, and all these things cost a lot of money, of course most people will have to work hard to get this. And once you get them, you might come to the understanding that the things that you were getting didn't really have value. They were just hard to get. And once you get them, there's really nothing there anymore. I did an experiment with myself just today, actually, when I was out walking. I was trying to think of something that I bought in a mall 1 year ago or longer that still had some significant importance to me now. And I couldn't come up with anything. Not one single thing that I bought in a mall more than 1 year ago has any significance in my life today. But a lot of people I met a year ago or longer ago still has a significant impact on me. And there's a lot of other things that also has an impact on me. But for all those things, most of them didn't actually cost any money. Although one might argue that in order to have experienced these things, money was needed to travel or to be able to take that free time from work and such. And that is true, because we're stuck in this cage of the society that we're in. But the actual experience, meeting somebody on the street and talking to somebody who might have one way or the other got you thinking in a different way, or make you make a decision to go in a certain manner or in a certain direction, which had a big impact on your life. Those things, they don't cost anything. And with your mindset open and taking in these things and embracing them for what they are and the value that they're giving you, it opens up for totally new perspectives and possibilities, because the less things you have in your life that you need to pay for, the less you need to do things that you don't want to do. And well, this is just a rant now. I can feel it and I can hear it myself. It's just what I'm thinking right now, and I'm also practicing and in doing unscripted episodes, because I feel that will probably give me more of a feeling of a direct contact, and hopefully I will also show and get that feeling out, so there will be some kind of connection that I hope that we over time will build on, and just that it all will get so much stronger. And by that, I will just end here. And this was pretty much starting as a test just for the camera and the microphone, just hoping that it all works. And it seems it did. And I just ranted away. And I hope to see you all again. Bye.